Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Joseph Crudup Show. Today is Friday, September the 10th, 2021. And yes, it is. And we had an amazing story here today. Tonight, it's gonna be something. Yesterday, Joe Biden has announced vaccines for the vaccines and the booster shots to have 100 million people, while the Republicans are vowed to fight the vaccine that is going to be something. The GOP has announced today that they will vow to fight the vaccination for people to be mandated for getting the vaccines. They will fight for getting the vaccine shots to people. Okay? Look, it is what it is. Okay? Like it or not, if you don't like it, then you should just blame. You don't have to. If you don't like it, then you have to blame the Republicans. Now, Joe Biden, who filed the back, now we're going to go for this way, but now, last day we heard for Joe Biden. Last night we saw the first NFL game of the season, the first kickoff between the Cowboys and the Bucs, which the Cowboys lost to the Buccaneers, the defending Super Bowl champions, 31-29. It is a wonderful game, a good game. Although I was going for my team, Dallas Cowboys, and they played pretty good. But anyway, it is what it is. The Cowboys played good. They played great. That's wonderful. We'll hear more about it. But no, what has happened to get this? This is what happens. This is how, and this is what Joe Biden was talking about. Okay, Joe Biden was talking about the vaccines. He was talking about the vaccines, and this is what it has happened. This is what it is. Now, Joe Biden says this. What does this mean for the people who are going to get the vaccine? Well, only 53%, 54% of America have been fully vaccinated. Now, let's take a look at this, and let's take a look what happened now. They say the CBS News, it says President Biden announced the most sweeping COVID-19 vaccines requirements yesterday, which would affect roughly 100 million Americans.
Relativity were discovered by people working from home.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Alright. Okay, let's take a look. Let's check this thing out. Now, President Biden announced the most sweeping COVID-19 vaccines requirements yesterday, which would affect roughly 100 million Americans. The new measure including a vaccine mandate for all federal workers and contractors, and a requirement that large companies must mandate vaccines or regular testing for employees. My job as president is to protect all Americans, Mr. Biden said yesterday. So last night, I'm announcing that the Department of Labor is evaluating an emergency rule to require all employees with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated or show a negative test at least once a week. Mr. Biden noted that many large companies already require vaccinations. The bottom line, we're going to protect vaccinated workers from unvaccinated co-workers. Okay, look, he said again, I see it before and I say it again. The bottom line, we're going to protect vaccinated workers from unvaccinated co-workers, he said. The Department of Labor's Employment Safety and Health Administration is evaluating a rule requiring all employees with at least 100 employees to make sure their workforce is fully vaccinated, or requiring unvaccinated workers to get a negative test at least once a week. OSHA will issue an emergency temporary standout to introduce the vaccine requirement. Companies that fail to comply could face fines of $14,000 per violation. Mr. Biden said, "Oh, that's going to be huge. $14,000 per violation." Now, if the company fails to comply, could face fine. That could face fine $14,000 per violation. Mr. Biden has said that. Okay, now that was just one of the mandates and changes the president announcing in a speech on booster vaccinations and battling the COVID-19 pandemic. The president also announced vaccinations requirements for healthcare providers that accept medical care and Medicare for all federal employees and contractors, and for the staff of Head Start programs, Department of Defense and schools, and Boeing Indiana education operated schools. Mr. Biden has announced in July the federal workforce will need to provide evidence that they have been vaccinated or submitted to regular testing and practice social distancing measures in the workplace. Now, within hours of his speech, the Republican National Committee announced that it plans to file a lawsuit against the Biden administration. Okay, Joe Biden told Americans when he was elected that he would not impose vaccine mandates. RNC Chairwoman Wanda McDowell saying in a statement Thursday that Biden lied. Okay, what did this mean for the Biden administration? Okay, now small businesses, workers, and families across the country will pay the price. Like many Americans, I am pro vaccine and in-time mandate. Many small business and workers do not have the money or legal resources to fight Biden's unconstitutional actions and authority decrees. But when he deceased goes into effect, the RNC will sue the administration to protect Americans and their liberties. Oh my gosh, I am so tired of this RNC stuff and the Republican. This is all about the scene. Well, all my friends are getting vaccinated. All my friends have got fully vaccinated. My family is being fully vaccinated. So, it is what it is. It doesn't matter. But, we'll only have roughly 100 people getting vaccinated anyway. 100 million people are going to get vaccinated for real. Joe Biden has been vowed those people to get vaccinated. 100 million people. You said, Joe. You said 100 million people need to be vaccinated for sure. We need to be vaccinated. We're going to end this damn pandemic right about now. It is what it is. We're going to end this daggone pandemic right about now. It's been there for too long, since 2020. In March of 2020. It all begins as last year. This year, this year we got back to normal. Later this year, we did. It did not. The pandemic came back. So what the hell? Anyway, it is what it is. But look, all I can say is why. Now, what did this mean? Well, the president started out his speech by saying he knows many are frustrated with the 25% of adults in the U.S. who had left to get a single COVID-19 shot. That's 25% can do a lot of damage, he said. He made an unparalleled directive to unvaccinated Americans. But boy is there for what? For wait for. What more do you need to see? He said. We made vaccinations free, safe, and convenient. The vaccine has FDA approval. Over 200 million Americans had gotten at least one shot. We're being patient. But our patience is really redeemed. And your refuses that has caused all of us. So please, do the right thing. Okay. That's what he said. That's what he said to a lot of people. And that's what Joe Biden is. Unvaccinated people. They have to keep the vaccinated people from the unvaccinated people. They need to keep America safe because that's what happened. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. So we'll see what happens. Now, I could just say this once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime. Yes, that's for sure. They can't let that happen again. So if they can't let that happen, this is what it is. So we'll see what it's all about for this moment. So now, was Mike Lindell held secret meeting with Trump over reinstatement day? Take a look at this. Now, listen to this. Miss My Pillow CEO Mike Lindell and a group of his allies met with Donald Trump over dinner on August 13, the date Lindell had previously promised will bring Trump's reinstatement as president. Sources had told Sauer the previously unprepared meeting occurred shortly after the Belton Tucker's cyber separations in South Dakota, which failed to produce everything close to proof of election fraud. Josh Miller, a former member of Lindell's raid team at the South Dakota gathering, told Sauer that the meeting occurred at Trump's Mar-a-Lago Club in Palm Beach on the evening of August 13, according to Miller. New Mexico State University law professor David K. Clements, Lemon Association, and elected official talking about the potential of Trump meeting ahead of time during the cyber policy. David said he was trying to get on as a lawyer for 45. Melton said added that Clemens saw Lindell's relationship with Trump as a way to gain access to the inner circles of Trump world. Following the August 13 event at Mar-a-Lago, Clements took to together to praise Trump and boast about the meeting. The greatest honor of my life, Mr. President, Lord President, he wrote, spent an unforgettable evening with the real President of the United States. But you all know that Trump got defeated in November of 2020 election. And we all know that the election was stolen from him, right? It did not steal from him. Oh my gosh. What is wrong with Mike Lindell? What the hell's wrong with Mike Lindell? We're going to skip that. Okay, we'll move on. And look at this. This is Kayla McElney. Let's take a look. The White has seen this for. Let's see what Kayla McElney had to say. I mean, this is what you have to say with Pharrell. So, I know all this coming. All of this will come for a while. But, Kayla McElney. No, I said so now. But you know what? Let's take a look at this, and that's what happened now. We'll go over Fox News and take a look what it's all about.
To get
get the nation's mind off of his failures in Afghanistan. He's not mad at the Taliban anymore.
Against COVID-19.
Last spring.
So
I'm Rachel Campos Duffy. Tonight, Joe Biden is desperate.
I want to see how Fox News all about it says this, but forget about it. So hey, look, it is what it is, right? We have to see more evidence. Now, we'll go to North Carolina. Governor Cooper to the North Carolinians, and he said, if you're unsure about the vaccine, get off social media. Period. Now take a look at this. It says it is what it is. It was yesterday, 9:17 p.m. Now, the Warren County School Board voted unanimously to require all employees and student athletes to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19, and for student athletes to be tested for COVID-19 at least once a week. Employees and student athletes had 30 days until October 9th to get their first shot of the COVID-19 vaccine and 60 days until November 8th to get their second dose if it's needed to be fully vaccinated. If there is a medical or scientists have originally reason why they cannot receive the COVID-19 vaccine, they may require amendment to the vaccination requirement, and pension employees will be required to be tested once a week. Applications for students and athletes will require them to be tested twice a week, whereas vaccinated student athletes are only required to be tested once a week. As a official evidence to get vaccinated, student athletes who are fully vaccinated and not showing any symptoms or illness will not be required to quarantine if they are exposed to someone with COVID-19. This provides the best chance for a team to compete this season without having to fulfill games because players are quarantined. At 3 p.m., Will Cooper as governor begging for North Carolinians to step up and get vaccinated to end the COVID-19 pandemic during a news conference Thursday. How many people need to get sick and die because people don't get their Medicare vaccine? That's what he said. It says, how many people need to witness the cruel death of a loved one? Oh my. He added that the vast majority of hospitalizations and happening in people who are not vaccinated. If you hesitate, get off social media and get on the phone with your doctor, he added. State Health and Human Service Secretary Dr. Manny Cohen echoed Cooper's statements, laying out the latest COVID-19 data for the state. She pointed to the web cases over the summer due to the Delta variant. The sharpest increase in case the state has seen thus far during the pandemic. She added that the number of people hospitalized with COVID-19 was extremely worrisome and that more than a third of people hospitalized with longer than 49. While more than 59% of North Carolina is older than 12 have been vaccinated, just 35 teenagers and 40 alone adults between 18 and 24 have gotten the vaccine, Cohen recognizing that people added levels of protect given the high rate of community spread, such as wearing masks. We are 18 months into this pandemic, and almost 9 months into the time that vaccines have come onto the scene, Cooper said. The key to ending this pandemic, of course, is the vaccine. There's still time to protect yourself. Yes. Cooper added that more than 96% of students in North Carolina schools are in district wearing masks are required. Just 3 school districts are not requiring masks at this time. We know that keeping kids learning in the classroom is the most important thing for our students right now. Getting vaccinated, wear a mask in public indoors settings, and following the sciences is what we need to do, Cooper said. The fastest we put this pandemic behind us, the sooner we can all rest easily and stay happy. Now, yesterday, briefly, meanwhile, comes ahead of another weekend of big outdoor events, including college football and kickoff to the NFL season, as if he would attend events like that, including the North Carolina State Fair. The governor said he would because he's vaccinated. If I go, I ain't going to be careful, and if I'm around a lot of people outside, I ain't going to have masks on, Cooper said. I am not on criminal promise. Everyone should look at their own situation and make decisions for themselves, particularly for people who have not gotten a vaccination. Man, So, it is what it is. Look, we're still in the woods. We're not out of the woods. So this is what it is. Now, we're going for sports. The NFL. Yes, the NFL game. Last night was a good one. Cowboys and the Buccaneers. Boy, I wanted to go for the Cowboys so bad. And they came out short. It was a good game. It was a close game. It's 31-29. The Bucs still won the game. The Bucs first win in the season, and the Cowboys first loss in the season. So it was a good game. Des Prescott played a good game. Tom Brady, the legend, the GOAT, played a good game. Oh my goodness, Tom Brady is a good. He was very good. So Tom Brady did play very well. And the Bucs, they won the game, a close one last night. Week 2, next Sunday, they're playing the Falcons 4-5. Buccaneers, they're favorite to win the game. Cowboys will play the Chargers next week at 4:25. Cowboys, they're favorite to win the game. Yes, they are. They're the good team here in the NFL, and I love it. I really like it, folks. I really love the way that I play this. I just love the Cowboys. I hope they could stay to it. I hope they can stay together and play well. They can play well. They can play good. They can play some great defense and good offense. But this is gonna be the test for the Dallas Cowboys. My mom is a fan of the Carolina Panthers. But I had all my friends wanted to pull for the Cowboys. And I had all my friends wanted to pull for the Panthers, Carolina Panthers. I had Anthony Wobble, was a fan. He was a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I had Eric, who works at Bojangles. He was a fan of the Baltimore Ravens. And I had all my uncles. My uncle was a fan of the Washington Redskins, and Joe Cousins was a fan of the Washington Redskins. So and Sean Boone, he was a fan of the Washington Redskins. So we are rivals, okay? Rivals, for sure. We are rivals. So that is going to be all about for us. And just like this, I just love this wonderful, wonderful time. Okay. We all know it's September 11th. Tomorrow is September 11th. Tomorrow marks the 20th year. And it's horrifying. Wait a minute. That's the phone. Okay, folks. Tomorrow marks the 20th year of September 11th. 20 years ago, well, really, 20 years ago on September 11th, were we at work? Were we at school? Let me tell you, I was 17 when this happened on my senior year. I was in Miss Pulver's class after I went to the gym when this happened. In my senior year, I was in here hanging out with my friends in class. At class, I was in class, and when someone turned on the TV, stuff like this happened. It happens. It was not one of the finest day I ever seen on what I saw on television, and I know. I remember the World Trade Center. I remember in Pentagon, and I know it's something horrible one. George W. Bush, our former president, was in Florida with the kids. When we all know that he told the kids that there was an attack. So I was in South River High when that happened, and I was watching the TV. I was like, holy shit. We had two twin buildings. Two twins of the buildings being crushed, being perished. I saw the plane flew to the World Trade Center, crashing into the building. A lot of people on board. That was foul, and that was sick. It's sickening. I know something horrible when I watched the news. It was unbelievable what I saw on TV. And, things happen. I mean, things happen. People tried to get out. There were a lot of people trapped. Firefighters, NYPD. I mean, shit's crazy. I saw two of the World Trade Centers, those twins collapse. It was awful. Extremely awful. It was like 10,000 people were killed on September 11th attack. That was 20 years ago when I was in school. It was early release. I can never forget that moment. Mr. Halpern was watching the TV when this happened. Everything I watched, CBS News, ABC News, NBC News, all the channels they were always known. And I couldn't even remember it. Shit crazy. So it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. I can never, ever remember what has happened. All I know was a terror attack. Terrorist attack in New York City, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. I saw the plane went down in the Pentagon. It really frustrated me. Really frustrates. What frustrates me and what worries me and it really breaks my heart. Really breaks my heart to know that it is what it is. 20 years ago, it really happened. People chanting USA. I remember people were chanting USA. War on terror. War on terror. That's what we have to stand for in America. and stand for the United States of America. Face the flag and stand for the United States of America. I think the reason is people are fighting for America. We fight for America. We fight for America because we love the U.S. We love the United States of America. And until we stand, we have to get up, remove our hats, and face the flag into our heart. Face the flag. That's what we need to do. September 11th will never be forgotten. For the families, for the loved ones, for our friends that were killed on that day. I should never ever know that I will never ever continue. 20 years later, people in the age of 20s, 30s, but hey, it is what it is. My early release, it was early release on September 11th, 2001. On my senior year that I always known. But this is America. This is our freedom. And this is our country. So that the whole terror will never kill America. You can't kill America. You can't kill us. And you can't take away our freedom. Because we are Americans, and we all stay Americans. We are Americans. We are the United States of America. And it's going to stay that way. For we are our country. And we are the people. And I gotta say this on behalf of the Joseph Crudup Show. May God bless you. And may God bless the United States of America. And may God protect our troops. Until then, this is Joseph Crudup. Had a great weekend, everybody. God bless you. And thank you. Peace and love.